I woke up this morning and it wasn't a good time. I was full of the old negative thought patterns, the old limiting beliefs that I thought I had broke free of. I genuinely believed that I had evolved to the next level of my character. But here's the thing. Once you stop doing the habits that got you there, you very quickly revert back to your old self. And I'm not sure if this, episode of just crippling self-doubt and fear was triggered by my stimulant withdrawal, which is still going strong. It's only been 1 week. Or if it's just by the realization about how far I actually have to go, about how underdeveloped I actually am. Because I got myself into a little routine back home, back in the UK, where I'd finally started to dial things in. I'd gotten into a little rhythm, finally staying consistent. And all of a sudden, coming out here suddenly exposed me. The chaos, it took over my life. And to be honest with you, I've been making a series of very impulsive decisions since I got here. I have been letting the monkey mind win a lot more times than I should. And so I really do think that this episode this morning was a wake-up call about just how much I've actually let myself slip back into old habits, old behaviors. And just because I'm in a new environment, just because I'm in this lovely tropical paradise, doesn't mean that my old, bottlenecks that held me back can't come back with a vengeance. So, I've decided today is not a day for relaxation. Today is not a day for taking things easy. Today is a day for violent clarity. Today is a day to prove to myself that I'm still a savage. However, this identity is not an event, it's a habit, right? Just because I prove to myself that I'm a savage today, just because I push my limits by, putting on a heavy backpack and going for a long and hard hike, because this trail is significantly more challenging than the last one I did. Just because I do this today and I feel, some relief, some at the end of it, but I am actually still, I've actually still got it. Bro, that's not enough. I have to keep proving to myself every single day. I have to keep progressively overloading the progressive overload. This past week has been disgusting. I came off the stimulants and I didn't realize just how much I was tying that as part of my identity as this productivity machine, this executor that just got the work done. Because without the stimulants, I've been absolutely just ineffective. My brain has felt like cottage cheese. And I know the energy and the focus will return, and soon, because I'm working on it daily. I'm working on pushing through this resistance. But it's also revealed to me just how much of my effort I was putting into just, sitting down and doing the work, when in reality, the highest leverage work will always be the inner work, the habits that chisel our mindset. Not just physical, right? I mean, the physical is very important, going for these, endurance events where every single step of the way you want to stop, but you just keep going. It's important, right? But, the physical isn't enough. You have to do both, man. You have to do both. You have to do the physical, the intellectual, the actual financial high leverage work that will grow your business, grow your career, what have you. But anyway, man, this is just a little thought I had for the day. Just gonna do this hike, record any thoughts I have along the way, and by the end of it, I'll feel less like a soft, flaccid little cuck. I always have to remind myself that this isn't England. This isn't a safe, cute little forest. There are things out here that can kill me. Whether it be the terrain, you know, slipping, falling down the waterfall. Whether it be a slithery little serpent in the bushes. I really have to watch my step. And I can't lie, this just adds to the challenge of the adventure, to be honest with you. And this is just one other thing that is a factor playing in my head, telling me, oh, just pack it up, go back, don't put yourself in danger. But I know that to start reclaiming, to start molding my identity back into a savage, to start mutating back up to the level of the man who deserves my goals, I know I have to get into the habit of quieting down that little bitch. Like, bro, this is the type of adventure that you just don't get back in the UK. And I love it. Getting outside, getting out in nature. Bro, I always remember when I'm out here, why didn't I come sooner? You know, being trapped in this environment, in your home, when you're in this negative headspace and you're trying to brute force your way through a certain task or, you know, some mental work, sometimes you just got to change the environment. Sometimes you got to raise the frequency, come back with a new energy. And I used to, for the past month, whenever I felt this way, I think I was just covering it up. You know, I'll just go get some nicotine gum. I'll go have a coffee. That'll put me back into a new energy, into a new frequency. And yes, it worked, but it was all chemical assistance. I believe it was more so an illusion, a smokescreen. But I know that the true frequency raiser is always sacrificial effort. And pouring yourself a cup of coffee, that's not a sacrifice. It's the opposite. You love coffee. You know, the ritual, oh man, it holds such a special place in my heart. You know, brewing it, smelling it, putting my salt and cinnamon in it. I'm actually fiending right now. I'm fiending for a coffee, but I'm going to channel that energy into this hike and just recentering myself, realigning. Every single step that I don't want to take is another step towards becoming the man who is capable and worthy of my ambitions. Yeah, I forgot to mention another way that I'll be recentering and refocusing today. An extra element of the challenge will be that I'll be fasting. Just one day. Absolutely easy, man. Once you've done a 5-day fast, a measly 24 hours is absolutely nothing. But obviously, without the crushes of caffeine and nicotine, there's no appetite suppressing, man. It's literally just you and the hunger and some heavy weight in a backpack and nature. Man, I'm not even a quarter of the way through the journey and I can already feel the potent benefits of making this decision. And so, I'm just going to keep sharing along all my thoughts. I don't care if you don't care. because I'm doing this for the people that do, for the people that resonate with the pain that I was in, who are longing for an escape to the suffering. You might be trying to weasel your way around it. You might be trying to think of some cheap trick, some easy gimmick. There is nothing but through the suffering, because I promise you it's not as bad as you think, and once you get out the other side you'll think, yeah, I'm just that guy. The trail is beginning to open up. We're starting to see some beautiful views of the city. Man, the camera can never ever do it justice, but I hope you can appreciate just what a blessing it is to be out here in tropical paradise fighting demons in my head. This is what the next checkpoint is looking like. Very nice, very nice. Bro, it's okay to fall off the path. We all do it. If we didn't, we'd all be mega trillionaires by now. We'd have colonized Mars centuries ago. The most important part about getting off the path is how quickly you get back on again. It's how quickly you realize, oh damn, something isn't right. It's time to rectify this mistake and get back on. And let me tell you, bro, it's so much easier to do this when you have a coach, when you have accountability. I don't have a coach right now. I'm coaching myself. And for a while I let myself slip because I was really swept away by this stimulant rampage. But just having someone who you respect, you admire, looking down on you and guiding you, letting you know when it's time to, make a change or when it's just time to stick to the course. Man, it's an undefeated feeling. And to be honest with you, now that I'm thinking about it, the second I can afford to get back with a fitness coach, with a mindset coach, bro, I'm going all in. Because how the hell am I supposed to expect people to invest in me when I'm not willing to just empty my bank account to invest in myself? That being said, I'm in a very precarious situation because I want to make it out here in Thailand. I cut all my bills, all my unnecessary expenses. Now I'm starting to see that maybe a coach is a necessary expense for actually getting to that next level. It was actually quite arrogant of me to convince myself that I had reached a level of self-mastery where I could just come out here, figure things out on my own, and it would all be smooth sailing. I expected challenge, don't get me wrong, but I didn't expect that the challenge would come from my own failures and my own shortcomings, my own slip-ups. I thought the environment would be presenting me with plenty of challenge, which it is, but man, very arrogant of me to think that I could make it out here in such a short time span. Of course, I can figure things out on my own eventually, but having a coach just makes the journey so much smoother and quicker because you only know what you know, but you don't know what you don't know. And it might take you years to figure out what you don't know. And then only once you know what you don't know, only then can you start actually figuring out how to make that something you know. So flipping out, bro. Don't repeat my mistake. Whatever you want out of life, man, find someone who's already got it and just do whatever it takes to get around them, absorb their mindset and their knowledge, because that's also just as important, right? It's even more important to observe how they think what their beliefs are, how they operate, rather than just their technical, tactical knowledge. But anyway, man, this ruck it's going rough, of course, as it was expected. I don't think I'm even halfway there yet, but I'm starting to gain some of that sweet, violent clarity. Man, this last section has been just one relentless climb. This is finally the part of the journey where I get to dig deep. This is where the actual mastery begins. Not at the start, not when it's only starting to get a little bit difficult. No, when you're balls deep in the heat of battle, every step you're fighting with yourself. That's exactly why I came here, man. I needed this. And I think I'm only just over halfway done. So, still plenty of mindset chiseling left to go. I'm really in the thick of the jungle now. And I won't lie to you, every single noise I hear, even if it's me just, stumbling over a rock or a leaf, it puts the shivers up my spine, it does. Because I just can't help but think, where are all the snakes, man? I know for a fact that there are cobras out here. I'm just keeping my eyes peeled, my ears even more peeled. Now we're really starting to get into the thick of the beauty, man. These are the kind of views you don't forget. I hope I don't have to. Hope I don't have to compare this to an English rainy forest in a few months. But hey, even if I do, it doesn't matter, because if I have to go back home, if I have to return to the UK and rebuild to get back out here again, it's not a problem. Done it once before, next time will be easier. Plus, the UK is great for locking in. I will give it that. The UK, the winter in the UK, man, those could be some productive days. A very big part of why I got pulled into so much chaos when I got here is because freedom without constraints leads to entropy. Basically, when I got here, I didn't have a full-time job. I didn't have any clear structure in my day. I only had a vague idea of what I needed to do. Make content, grow the brand, get jacked, go to the gym, and live a lifestyle that people would want to live as well. Bro, obviously, I got pulled into such a mess. Because once you set constraints on yourself, then start creating within those constraints, and everything just goes so much smoother, especially time constraints, right? If you have only 2 hours every single day with which to move forwards in your own endeavors, you're gonna be really dialed in to make sure that those 2 hours are very well spent. But ever since I got out here, because I've had literally all day to do whatever I please, I've been going on a crazy content rampage where it was a chaotic, scattered mess, which is a perfect reflection of my own state. But I just have to remember that this shit doesn't come easy, doesn't come quickly, and whatever level you think you are, if you think you've reached some kind of self-mastery, be very careful, because that's when you start to get complacent. That's when the old habits, the old thoughts and beliefs start coming back. Bro, you always have to push yourself every single day. Never get comfortable, never get complacent. Never think you've won until you've won. Never think you've won before you've won. Even when you think you've won, you probably haven't won. That's another trap that I've fallen into for a very long time, where I started celebrating way too early, way before any real victory. Unacceptable. We don't move like that anymore. We don't celebrate the small wins. That's what fannies do. Here's the only celebration you need when you get a small win. You look at yourself and you think, I'm just that fucking guy. I'm the man. I do what I set my mind on, and I keep my promises to myself. Honestly, that's the best reward there is. So here we have it. The hike is nearly complete. It's just one last stretch to go. Here we have another spectacular view over the city. The traps are definitely starting to ache quite significantly, but I knew that's all part of the package. Doesn't help that, again, yesterday I did some heavy explosive shrugs. But I'm not complaining. Why would I complain? The pain gives me violent clarity. The pain allows me to feel like myself again. And nothing better, honestly. So I took a little detour and I'm well off the main path now. Literally in the depths of the bush. If I'm gonna encounter a snake, it's gonna be here and now. So I'll update you if I come out alive. Back where it all began, I've done the hike, and I feel a lot more like the man than I did at the start of the day, let me tell you that. So, what would have happened if I just stayed at home and tried to brute force my way into producing some kind of work? Well, number one, it would have been torture, it would have been disgusting, I'd have been overthinking. Every single task that I did would have taken like 5 times as long, just because with the amount of time I had to pause, second guess myself, am I even doing the right thing? Stuck in analysis paralysis. But I came out here, I raised my frequency, got some new energy. Now I'm able to go about the rest of my day feeling elated, not feeling like a victim, not having to doubt myself and just feel helpless, because that is how I felt earlier today. I felt helpless. I genuinely thought that I was completely regressing back into my old identity. I thought that, maybe I would be trapped in these cycles forever, but simple little adventure was all it took to break out.